Hey guys, I'm Nashwa. Welcome back to my channel. And today I'm being joined by a bookstagrammer. And please don't be discouraged by the title of this video, which will be BookTube versus Bookstagram, because we're not actually going to fight about it. We're not going to fight about which is the better platform. But I find it very interesting that BookTube is there, but a lot of Pakistani booktubers they don't have a lot of BookTube channels. But I see like a lot of bookstagram pages on Instagram. So I invited Sana from the Reading Nook PK to have a discussion about this. Sana, welcome to my channel, and I would like you to introduce
Hi,
yourself
Nishwa.
to my subscribers.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm so thrilled to be on YouTube. I think this is going to be like my first YouTube uh, collaboration, so to say. And I'm thrilled because I really enjoy your reviews and I really enjoy the kind of work you do. It's, to be taken with a pinch of salt, and I really enjoy talking like that about books.
So about your Instagram page, like it's called Reading Nook PK, and you were one of the few people who reached out to me, and you're like, "Can you review a book for us?" And I was like, "Okay, this sounds amazing. No one has ever reached out to me." So like, how did you come up with the idea of the Reading Nook PK, and what does the page intend to do?
So, Nashwa, I've actually been a reader all my life, right? But somewhere down the line, I've realized that, my reading took a back seat because I was told either by myself or by my peers or by my mentors that there were other things that I needed to tend to. And then life took on and I got married and I had babies and I realized that I hadn't picked up a book in years. And that's when the idea of a book club came to my mind. Now I searched for something that I could possibly connect with, and I honestly found nothing. Even like for kids, when you go around town, you will see there's going to be arts and crafts clubs, there's going to be hockey clubs, riding clubs, but you'll hardly find a space where your child can come and read, unless it's a bookshop, because obviously the bookshop wants to sell its books. So there's nobody really who's kind of promoting the kind of reading that we should be. I mean, if you look at schools abroad, they've got book bags, they've got subscription boxes coming in for their students, and they really put their best foot forward when it comes to raising readers. But I felt that in Pakistan, A, I saw that culture missing, and then B, when as an adult, I wanted to find people who were like me, who wanted a reason or a community to connect with, I found nothing. So then I thought, why not create one? So that's basically the idea behind my reading club, to kind of like bring a community of readers together. For the kids, I want it to be a space where they can nurture their love for reading and kind of learn and grow with books. And for the adults, I want it to be a safe space where we can talk books, we can discuss our ideas and grow with each other.
I think it's really amazing that you want to create a platform where not only is it for adults, but also for kids, because there are no spaces for them. And in this day and age that we're living in with the pandemic and everything, our world has shrunken much more than it was. And there's not much opportunity for them to do anything beyond holding a tablet. And like the kids in my family,
Yeah.
they come over and they're glued to their tablets. And it's a little strange for me because that's not how I grew up. That's not how
Yeah.
we grew up in general. So it's definitely really good to have something that is specifically for children as well, but also where the parents can sort of, you know,
So
engage.
you know what, Alba, what I thought, because I've been a middle school teacher for around 10 years, yeah. And all this while, I found teachers cribbing about how students were so into technology and parents coming and telling me that, my child only wants to learn through the internet or they want some visual aids or something like that. They're not really into textbooks. And I found it really unfair that a generation that is raised on visual aid should be encouraged to read something that does nothing to their eyes. So then as somebody who empathizes, as somebody who teaches children and who works very closely with them, I wanted to find and devise a way in which these kids could connect with something other than a screen. And unfortunately, our schools, our parents, we don't really understand reading the way the rest of the world does. We don't really think of it as a hobby, because हमारे में, if the child is reading a lot, or it's like a couch potato cuddled up with the book, it's really considered something that, and parents tend to think like, oh God, my child is maybe not good with people, and there's some sort of a problem where my child is getting introverted, and I need to stop this. So parents will come and they will try to push their child, go into public speaking, go into debates. Why do you want to be a writer? Why do you want to be a reader all the time? Go and play with your friends. So the culture around books, I think reading as a hobby is very undervalued. And we need people to understand the beauty, understand the kind of vast array of ideas that you can really incorporate, or what would you say, kind of absorb through literature.
I
And
agree with you.
that's where I thought I should kind of pitch it. So my goal is to try and make these books as interesting as possible, to show them that this too is a world that we must train ourselves to look at and enjoy.
Absolutely. And I feel like it's not that attitude of people is not limited to how they treat kids. A lot of the times when I was reading as an adult,
Yeah,
it's been like a question of why do you do this? Like, you know,
yeah,
you could be doing so many other things, but I'm like, I choose not to do
yeah,
other things. This is my
exactly.
primary source of entertainment. Like every time I used to travel for work, like I used to work for a company where I was required to travel like around the country. And every time we boarded a flight or something, I had a book, and they're like, "No, but subah, like early in the morning, you're reading
uh,
fiction." Like, I don't understand why. Like, you know what? So
So
even
this is like, yeah, so reading is like something you're supposed to do when you have nothing to do, right? So
yeah,
it's not something that you should want to do. And if somebody wants to do that, then we kind of look at that person and think like, what's wrong? What's
yeah,
wrong with my child? Or what's wrong with me? Am I an introvert? Do I not like people? When it's perfectly a healthy hobby and activity to have, as when it's basically working your brain muscles and, having an imagination that is discouraged in our part of the world because we don't like imagination and we don't like new ideas. We're rigid
and
like
one
that.
and one thing that people associate with reading is that it's boring. Like people who read
Yeah,
are boring. Reading is boring. People who read don't have any fun. And I'm like,
yeah,
it's the general misconception of just because you're doing something quietly in one corner on
yeah,
your own, like that's because you're a boring
yeah,
person. And I couldn't disagree with that more, because I feel like readers are some of the most interesting people, because they explore so much in their own head, so to speak, through a book,
yes.
that I don't find people who, like, I find them more interesting because they have more to say about.
Whenever a parent comes to me about this and they tell me that my kid is more into spending time with their books, which is very rare by the way, but whenever they say and they address it as a problem, I ask them to think of the world leaders that we know and celebrate, and just tell me how many of them were not readers. So if you look at the world readers and the world leaders and the thinkers of the world, they've all been readers, they've all been philosophers, and they've all been creative, imaginative people. Where does that come from? It doesn't come from sitting in front of a screen and being spoon-fed ideas. It comes from, independent thought, and independent thought is always cultivated when somebody's sitting in isolation and absorbing the world around them, be it through a book or be it through observation. The
Absolutely.
advantage is that when you have a book with you, you have somebody else's thoughts to kind of compare yours with and then either reject or accept
Absolutely. And one thing that I really enjoy about your Instagram page is that every Sunday there is a new Pakistani
them.
reviewer. There's someone from the Pakistani community. And I wanted you to talk a little bit about that, because I feel like a lot of bookstagrammers find that very encouraging to be asked.
Yeah,
For example, for me, like I was
yeah,
encouraged by this. I was like, okay, it looks like my content has value. And like you mentioned at the beginning, that I don't even consider myself as a booktuber or a reviewer. Like it's
yeah,
just something I do for fun. Um,
yeah.
but you do this every Sunday. We see a new Pakistani bookstagrammer or a booktuber giving a review on your page. So just a little bit, like, how did you every
Huh.
Sunday book
So
review?
actually, Nashwa, when I started my club, for the first year, it was only the kids and me. So I was only hosting book clubs for kids, and I always wanted to host a book club for adults, but I honestly didn't have the guts to, because I knew that if I come down to this, is people with very strong opinions, and if I'm the moderator, I don't know what to do and how I'm going to deal with all these people with strong opinions. And I was taking my sweet time, and then parents kept calling me, and my friends and people from the community, everybody wanted something. So I was like, okay, let's give it a try and let's do it. And that kind of gave birth to my book club for adults, which has become really the one book club that goes on nonstop now. One part of that was also to allow people to have a voice, people who have thoughts, people who are thinkers, who are creative, and who have their own perspective, but they don't necessarily have a voice. And these are some of my friends. Some of them are authors, some of them are just people I spot on the internet, and I like, their work, and I just try to get them on board and share a book that means something to them. And the beauty of that is that it has come down to, I think we've done like around 35 reviews now. And the beauty of that is that every week we've got a new book to talk about that you might not have heard of in the past. Many a times, when people recommend books, they ask me, is it supposed to be a book that's available in Pakistan? And I'm like, not really. The point is to come down with newer stories, newer books that we've not heard of, so that we can kind of expand our pool.
Enjoy it because now every Sunday, like there are books that I was like, you know of them. For example, recently
Yeah,
somebody spoke of Roots by Alex Healy, and that's a book that I
yeah.
know of. Like I know of throughout my life. I've been seeing it. I know it's about, but I've never heard someone talk about it in a way which makes me feel like, oh, that I would like to
I
read it
could
because
read that. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And like these are books that are sitting on the shelves. Even like sometimes I feel like someone in my house might have a copy, but like I never thought of picking it up. But you see a
Yeah.
younger or a fresher voice talking about it, and it makes you
It kind
interested.
of encourages you, doesn't it?
Definitely
So
does.
that's the idea. That's exactly the idea behind it. Because I want to, like, even if I'm not going to read that book, and there are many books that people review, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to read it. But it's nice to like kind of know that book. At least when somebody names it, I kind of know what it's about, and I'm able to kind of have a backstory in my mind. So that always helps. I think the more informed you are, you can make your own decisions.
Absolutely. So one thing that I wanted to ask you that how do you select the books for your book club? Because I sometimes I see a book, for example, what's the book that your book club is doing now? It's all about the burqa for this.
Yes, it's not about the book.
It's not about the burqa. Sorry, I
Yeah.
leave a picture on the screen that this is the your book
Yeah.
for selection for October.
Yes.
So how do you come up with which book to?
So the plan is, luckily, when I started my book club for adults, I obviously, one of the biggest problems that you have in Pakistan is that you want to read a book and it's not available.
Hmm.
And then another huge problem is that if you want to read it with a group, then only a few copies are available and it's not available in bulk. So I was very lucky to have had Liberty Books as a partner, working with me, in the sense that it's a collaboration where I just send them a couple of titles. So every month, I kind of have shortlist like 4 or 5 titles that I want to read or I think people should read. And we kind of work around that, whatever they can arrange for us. And I come up with 2 titles. And then I leave them out for my book club. So this happens in my private WhatsApp group where there's like around 50, 52 people, all of who then vote for the book. And whatever book then gets the most votes, we then order it, or I personally like send it to everybody in the book club. And many a times it happens that both the books that we've kind of put forward, everybody wants to read them. So then we read the other one too. And we kind of limit that discussion to the WhatsApp group. And
Yeah,
the main discussion is on the book of the month. So
that
it's essentially whatever I can find online and whatever I can access in Pakistan.
no, that's a really good way of not only expanding your reading circle and but also to encourage bookshops to sort of have books that people
Yes,
would be interested in. I feel like a
yes,
lot of people don't realize that people who talk about books on the internet actually have a certain amount of influence that we can also like it can affect the authors because if you really like their book and
absolutely.
you talk about it, people tend to people tend to be interested. So I feel like
Yeah,
this is something. It's a link between a traditional publishing company who would have
yeah,
books, but nobody would really be knowing. And then we come in as you as a bookstagrammer, me as a
yeah.
booktuber. I'm very reluctant to call myself that, but
Sure.
when we talk about it, people are like, okay, wait, this kind of does sound interesting. And I've had many people tell me since I started reading Pakistani books. Um, a lot of like subscribers of mine are not from Pakistan, and they're like, "Oh yes, you talked about this book. We found it on Kindle," and I'm like, "That's
Yeah,
so extremely helpful for these
feeling.
new authors." So I feel like influencers. I hate the word influencers.
Yeah, I know. I mean, how many people am I influencing really at the end of the day? But I think people like you and I, when we are talking about books, and thankfully we've got a good host of community. We've got a host of friends, we've got a community around us that kind of values. I don't know if that's the right word or not, but listens to us.
Definitely.
And when like some, I remember when I started my book club in around December, I had a very interesting meetup where I invited one of my friends, Mariam Tareen from the writing room, and I wanted her to like discuss 5 books that she's liked in the last year. And one of them was Normal People by Sally Rooney. Now this was a book that she talked very passionately about, and I really wanted to read it, but I couldn't find it anywhere. And then I went all out and I was like, I'm going to get this book. I don't care. So then we worked with Liberty Books, we pestered them, and they made it possible for us. We actually did import that volume of books. But when that book came into Pakistan, it only came for our book club, right? So we had limited copies that we wanted to sell. And then we sold them. And then they realized that we've got more of a demand over here. So then they had to like bring that book to Pakistan again. So, I mean, that is the kind of stuff that we are capable of, even though, we're a very small community, but we do, uh, we kind of do know what we want. And, likewise, if we are talking as a group, then there's also 4 people who kind of think like us, but don't really know us.
I started my YouTube channel about, I think I would say 2 years ago, but I've never been very active. I've never been one to do weekly posts or anything. Sometimes I take 6 months off because like a reading slump, a filming slump is a very real thing. You don't look. Sometimes, sometimes the sentences don't make sense, and then I turn off my camera. Like, not today.
Not happening.
That it happens a lot, and then I was never expecting the kind of response that I would get. And I know my channel is 1,000 subscribers, which is not much at all by YouTube standards, because you have people who have millions and millions, and then what is 1,000 subscribers compared to those? But these are people who actively engage. These are people who actually care about your opinion. They are influenced by it. There are people that I watch and I really enjoy their comment, and I've picked up books that other people have mentioned. So I feel like the numbers, it doesn't matter if you have 500 or if you have 50, as long as you have the kind of engagement which is encouraging for you and kind of intellectually stimulating in a bit. Because when I started my booktube channel, I didn't tell anyone. I still to this day haven't linked it to my Facebook because I was like, I don't want my friends and family to know. It's a little awkward for me.
So I get that right.
So, but I started it because I felt kind of lonely, that I was the one reading books, but I never had anyone to discuss them with. And then I saw these people on the internet, and I saw that there weren't a lot of like Pakistanis doing it. I started my channel, and then I started discovering that, oh wait, there are Pakistani channels who are talking about books. Some of them are in English like me, and there are a couple of them who discuss books in Urdu. So
it happened the same way with me, because I had no idea there was a Bookstagram Pakistan hashtag as well. I had no idea, honestly. So when I started, I was mostly engaging with people outside of Pakistan. And then, it just sprung up, and we're not very huge also. We're not 3.3 million followers big. But at the end of the day, I don't think that is something that I'm striving for as well. Since, I think your team includes yourself, my team includes only me. So it's only a handful of people that we can manage, and whose comments also we can actively, respond to, and feedback we can take in. So I think it's more about the quantity, and whoever, is following you should be following you because their content resonates, and not just because it's a giveaway post and, oh, you must like this. So I don't believe in that either. I believe, that we should have like a good, meaningful community where we're set out to do what we're doing what we set out to do.
So now we move on to the next part of the conversation, which is about Pakistani fiction. And it's something that I've been taking on I've taken this head on since August, because I was like, I'll read them for a month to see how I feel about them. And then it sort of continued into September, and now we're into October. And I feel like I'll probably like read a couple of Pakistani books every month until the end of the year, and then decide if I want to continue this or project is over for me. So I've had like a mixed experience. I've had like a couple of books which were really, I wouldn't recommend them. But I've had books which were, I was like, I'm so glad I took on this project because I never knew that this book existed. And in this process, I discovered debut authors like Harun Khalid Akhtar, Melody of a Tear. It was such a beautiful,
really like
in my opinion. I mean, it's definitely one of those books that's subjective. It wouldn't resonate with everyone, but because I grew up reading darker themed books, it took me back to that time when I was really interested in them. And I've discovered, currently I'm reading To Lahore with Love. I think that's the title. I'll leave it on the screen. By Hina. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. I think
I don't even know.
So
okay, it's not Hina.
It's not Hina Khan. I think it's Hina Bilitz or something. And it might be
Okay.
because I don't know if her origins, if she's Pakistani or if she's half Pakistani. And
Yeah.
that brings up the question of, do I consider her a Pakistani author? But
Yeah, that too is a conversation now we must have. Huh?
definitely. So I'm reading that. I'm almost finished with it. And it's, I don't know where my final rating stands, but some of the things about that book are so refreshing because it's about a relationship of a grandmother and a granddaughter, and that I haven't seen explored in Pakistani fiction at all.
Yeah.
Especially the grandmother is Pakistani and the granddaughter is half Pakistani. So again, like question of identity, how one fits into the society. I think that
Very
those
interesting.
aspects are covered fairly well.
Yeah.
So now I want to ask you, like, how do you feel about the Pakistani English fiction specifically in general, and what are some of the Pakistani books that you've read and really enjoyed?
Okay. Thank you for asking me that. Now, before I start, let me also make an admission over here that I don't generally so when I'm picking up my book or whatever it is that I want to read, I don't really think of who the author is or who they belong to. As a matter of fact, I do this and sometimes I regret it also. I don't even read the blurb, and I just pick up a book unless it's like doing the rounds on Instagram and everybody's talking about it. I will not be bothered to pick it up and read the blurb because when I go into a book, I really want to go in with zero expectations and I want to read it for what it is. And believe you me, there are many books that I had no idea what they're about, and then they've turned out to be completely different. So when I read an author, I don't really look at the origins of the author. But obviously, since you're in Pakistan, you're aware of who comprises of the scene and who's been there and who's not been there. So amongst the authors that I've read from Pakistan, I love Bapsi Sidra. I don't think anybody can really top that. I also really enjoy books by Fatma Bhutto. Of the recent ones, I've thoroughly enjoyed Sanam Mahir's book, which was on Kandil Baloch. It was called The Sensational Life and Death of Kandil Baloch, but I think now it's also out as A Woman Like Her.
Yes.
And I really admired that book because not only did it allow me to see the woman's life in a new light, but also because of the zero judgment that she writes it with. So I love that kind of journalism, and it kind of took me to a place where I, kind of was wishing for more journalists in Pakistan like her. So I really admire her. Can't wait to find out what comes from her next. I've also wanted to read a couple of authors from which, we've got The Family Tree by Sarah Hussain. Really looking forward to reading that. This House of Clay and Water by Faika Mann. These books are not available here yet. And I told you I'm not an e-reader, so I just
Right.
have to wait for the copies to come. Yeah, but out of like the ones that I've read recently, the one book that has really stood out for me was Sana Mahir's A Woman Like Her. Then there's other promising authors also, if you look at, I've recently read Awais's book, Awais Khan, In the Company of Strangers, which was a good read. I liked it. So another book that our book club has been raving about is The Light Blue Jumper by Sidra Sheikh. I've not read that yet, but I am dying to. It's still waiting on my bookshelf. And I know that whatever will come out from Sidra will be very fascinating. I've also enjoyed Afshan Sami's book. She's written a poetry book called Coming Home, and I find it very meaningful. I liked it.
Right. So I just the books that you mentioned, I'm absolutely extremely excited about The Light Blue Jumper. There was a time when I started reading it, and then I got distracted, and then I put it down because I was like, the book has to be, the time has to be right for you.
Yeah, yeah,
When you feel like I
absolutely.
like this, and I'll probably
Yeah.
like it a lot, but I need to pay attention to it. So that book has been on my radar for a while. Somehow, when I ordered it from Liberty Books, they sent me a signed copy, and that made me even more
Wow.
excited because I wasn't expecting it. So I'm really looking forward to that one because I've seen reviews in which it's compared to The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yes, and
I
that is one of her favorite books too. The author says that.
Yeah, and I love that book series. I feel like it's a book,
Mhm.
I think it's a series of 5 books. The first 4 I really liked. I wasn't happy with how it ended, but like just how innovative it was. And then a
Yeah.
few years ago I listened to the whole series again, narrated by the author as in audiobook format. And that just
Wow.
changed the whole experience for me. So I'm really
Yeah.
excited for The Light Blue Jumper. And I agree with you that Sanam Meher's book, The Sensational Life and Death of Kandil Baloch, is one of my favorite Pakistani non-fiction books.
Yes,
I
I
read it,
think this is one book that stands out from
it
whatever's been
absolutely
released.
stands out. It's I read it when it first came out, and I think I have a review for it, which I'll have linked, but it's one of my earlier videos. There's a lot that I don't like about
Sure.
the video,
Yeah.
but I don't want to take it down, because when I put it up, I got not only just comments, but I also got a lot of messages telling me that thank you for talking about this, because in a lot of
Yeah.
international media, it was mentioned as a one-line story, and they didn't
Yes.
really realize that there was a whole book about it. It's just that, talking about that book, I feel like it was so important. I read it and I sat on my review for a month. I was like, I don't know how to talk about it. Like, how do I process
Yes.
this and review
Yes.
it in a way which is beneficial? And I think on YouTube, we have YouTube and Bookstagram, we have this nonfiction November coming up. And I feel like if anybody is participating in that and you're looking for a nonfiction book, this would be my top
I think it would
recommendation.
be fantastic. Yes,
Yes.
I do agree. Initially I was reluctant to pick it up because I, around the time that Kandil was making waves on the social media scene in Pakistan, I wasn't really on social media. So I was very social media shy for the longest time. I didn't have a Facebook account until 2015.
Right.
I didn't have an Instagram account until 2017, I think. So I'm pretty late to all of this, and I kind of missed out on the sensationalism. But when I did read this book, it was very meaningful for me as somebody who had no idea of basically what she was doing.
Yeah.
But I found it really interesting and very good writing.
I think that kind of brings our conversation to a close. Sana, is there anything else that you'd like to mention about your channel? I'll have your Instagram account and the link to that in the description below, because I feel like even if you're not Pakistani and you enjoy Pakistani fiction and Pakistani reviews and Pakistani booktubers in general, it's a very, very good page for you to follow. Is there
I
anything
think
else?
thank you, Nashwa, firstly for having me because generally it's me having other people over. So for a change, going on to someone else's page is a new experience for me, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
I'm
And secondly, it's really nice to see that our community as readers has extended to multiple social media platforms and is also coming on its own in real life as well. Pre-pandemic, we were having this book club regularly. We were meeting up every month. We were sitting down with our coffees at Mocha, and we were discussing the books that we loved. But ever since the pandemic, we've taken things online. It has given me the opportunity to connect with people like you who might not be in my city, but share the same love of books and reading like myself. So it has been a wonderful experience, and I think if only we were able to keep the conversations alive, we would also be successful in kind of building a culture that celebrates and encourages reading because
absolutely.
that's what we require most.
Absolutely. So please follow Sana's Instagram page. It's by the title of at read the reading nook PK. I'll have it
Yes,
on the screen so I don't get it wrong. I'll have it
yes,
there, because I feel like it's a very, very valuable page, even though she's not a booktuber, but there's video book reviews on her IGTV, which you can definitely go and enjoy. Sana, thank you so much for your time. I know you're a mom and you're very busy, so I really, really appreciate this. And
no,
that
thank
brings the
you for
conversation to
having me,
a close.
really. Like I told you, it's very rare that I go onto other pages.
Yes. So thank you so much for watching, everyone, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Bye bye.